In this video, we're going to take a quick look at the performance improvement to the Move tool when operating in Voxel mode. For new users, I need to quickly explain you have two primary sculpting platforms in 3D Coat Sculpt Workspace, Voxels and Surface mode. With Voxels, you are working with volumetric pixels, and there is an adaptive outer mesh that conforms to whatever changes you make to the volume. 3D Coat typically does that on the fly. However, that requires a second calculation as you are working. For that very reason, it's noticeably slower in certain circumstances and with certain tools, such as the Move tool, because it's having to revoxelize at the end of a stroke or operation. Whereas in Surface mode, you're working with geometry and it's only having to push vertices in space. Let me zoom in and I'll hit the 3 key to toggle wireframe so you can see this adaptive outer mesh. When you are in voxel mode, indicated by the V on the left-hand side of your sculpt tree layer, then you are effectively in a hybrid mode, if you will. That means you have voxel brushes where you are literally sculpting on volumetric pixels, but you also happen to have surface tools that are available, which are a mirror of the brushes that you have when you are in surface mode, indicated by the S at the left side of your layer. You might ask, well, what's the difference? Why should I go into surface mode? Well, there are a lot more tools that you can use that are specifically for working with triangulated geometry. That also includes live clay brushes and extremely sharp cuts when using the cutoff tool. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because the Move tool now operates by default in surface mode, even though your layer is in voxel mode. 3D Coat does that to alleviate some of the performance concerns. Where can we find the Move tool? Let's scroll down in the tool panel to the Adjust section where it's always been. However, it's almost as if 3D Coat moved the Move tool to the surface tools. If I check Voxelize immediately, it's going to work the way it normally has by simply voxelizing at the end of each movement or adjustment. Let me go ahead and check that first. Now, when I need to make some type of a movement, you'll notice that there is a pause. So let me adjust the traps here. So I'll go ahead and move around, and you can see it's actually fairly robust, and it's actually working in surface mode right now, even though it's technically in voxel mode. The reason being is that 3D Coat is moving that outer mesh only, and then when you let up from your cursor, it's going to voxelize the object. And there's like a 2 to 3 second pause there, and that can be quite annoying when you're trying to get a lot of work done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. On a much lighter model, that lag is not going to be as noticeable. I'm working on a 10 million poly model, so again, using the Move tool is somewhat prohibitive. Now, like other sculpting applications, you typically would want to step down to a lower resolution to do that, or a lower subdivision level. In 3D Coat, you would use this proxy slider to scrub down to a lower resolution, use the Move tool. Then when you're done, you would step out of proxy mode by uncaching the layer, and that would propagate the changes back to the original. In this case, we really don't need it because in surface mode, it can handle large resolutions fairly well. So, by default, Voxelize immediately is unchecked. Now, when I need to make adjustments, let's say, for example, like the eyebrows here, if I wanted to push that in, I'm going to hold the Control key to push along the normals. And there is no pause. It handles it fairly well. Okay, Control key again. And then I can come back over here to the back side. Let me rotate my light. Okay, so you can see I can just continue working without any real performance penalty at all. And that's a quick look at using the Move tool in voxel mode in 3D Coat Sculpt environment. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.